I have been a data scientist now for over 3.5 years, and in this video, I want to go over all the things I wish I did when I started my journey. Let's get into it. First things first, you must have a solid and clear roadmap about how you're going to approach learning data science, with all the resources and sufficient material that will really enhance your journey. I somewhat had a plan when I was first beginning, but I wish it was more concrete and more strategic, because I kind of had the right idea, but if I kind of had all my baskets in a line, whatever you want to call it, then I'm sure I would have learned all the information a lot quicker than I did. The general order you should learn things is, first you want to learn the maths, and the three main areas are linear algebra, calculus, probability statistics. After you've learned the fundamental maths, it's then to learn the coding. Python and SQL are the main languages you need to know for data science. After coding, it's then time to learn some machine learning theory. This is all the basics around linear regression, logistic regression, SVMs, decision trees, neural networks, things like that. And finally, after you've learned all those topics, it's now time to do some projects to really solidify your understanding. I have whole videos on these topics, which I'll link in the description below for you to check out. People always ask me something like, should I take this course to really bolster my application? I mean, taking a course will definitely not negatively impact your application, but you're much better off just building something instead. I see too many people get stuck in tutorial hell, when in reality, you're much better off actually doing something and creating something that will help you learn and also gives you a tangible end product that you can show the employer or the interviewer. I always say to people, just take one course on a subject and then immediately implement something, build something, whatever it is. You don't even need to be building a project. It can simply be a LinkedIn post or blog post describing what you've learned. Your learning should always favor the practical, hands-on stuff rather than majority of the time just consuming and reading courses. Now, there's no point in learning all these things, doing loads of projects, if you don't adequately show them on your CV or portfolio. A well-polished and concise CV goes a long way in getting you through the door. I have a whole video explaining exactly what should be on your data science resume, which I'll link in the description below. In a similar vein, a CV or resume is only just one page describing your work and activities, but I'm sure there's so much more that you could say. That's why I also recommend having some sort of personal website or portfolio where you have more detail about yourself. Think of your CV as a business card to your personal portfolio, which contains the whole business, aka you. I plan on making a whole video explaining exactly how I build my personal website, but in a nutshell, I used Hugo, which have great templates, and I deployed it on Cloudflare. You can simply just Google how to create a data science portfolio, and there'll be so many examples and tutorials. It doesn't need to be too complicated. Just start something simple as an initial step, and then over time you can upgrade, make it more complex or fancy, whatever you want. The point is, just have one at the beginning, and that will be pretty much 80% of the way there. This one is key for me, because you're obviously learning data science to get a job in the field. However, you don't know what you don't know. So whilst learning data science, building projects, doing all these things, I'll actively be looking to apply for jobs as well. Now, the reason you want to apply for jobs whilst learning data science is so that you can get more active feedback from where you're missing knowledge. For example, let's say you go to an interview as a coding interview, and let's say they ask a question about dictionaries in Python. You may have no clue how dictionaries work, but that's something you probably didn't know before. So that interview is giving you direct feedback on areas you can learn and improve upon. This happened to me a lot of the time, and it's partly the reason why I applied for 300 jobs. But those 300 jobs allowed me to create micro refinements and really upgrade my knowledge because I knew the areas which I was weak on. And I only got that through these interviews and technical online tests. If I didn't do that, then I'll probably miss some gaps, and I'll spend a lot of time just learning things without actually learning the right stuff. So if you can, apply for jobs whilst you're studying data science, and don't worry about being rejected. That's not the goal. The goal is to get targeted feedback on the areas that you're missing or the knowledge that you're missing. Another one that is neglected quite a lot is reaching out and communicating with other aspiring data scientists. In other words, building your network. In the short term, it will allow you to understand how other people are approaching learning, the resources and courses they're using that may benefit you. It's also nice to know that there's other people in the same boat, and you can discuss different strategies and tactics that may be working for you and for them. So again, it just builds up your knowledge about kind of how you should approach applying for data jobs, and what other people are doing. In the long term, you're building connections with people who will probably be future data scientists. And who knows, in 10 years' time, 20 years' time, they may have a job in their current company, and they may know you from back in the day because you kept communication and you're just friends through the data science community, and they may refer you to that job. Referrals go a long way in a lot of companies. So having these relationships and friendships with people who are in the field can pay off massively in the long run. Obviously, don't be friends with someone purely because you're looking to become or get a referral in the future. I'm not saying to do that. But there's nothing wrong with having people who are your friends who work in the same area as you, because you're interested in the same things and you're naturally going to have a better relationship because you have similar interests. Finding these people can be quite difficult, but by far the best place to look is Twitter/X or LinkedIn. Twitter and X have like a communities tab where you can search groups of people who are interested in a similar thing. So just search data science and I'm sure you'll find some people who are also looking to break into the field. And that's a really easy way to find like-minded people. And the final one is just to have time and patience. Things don't happen overnight. Data science is a mix of so many different, areas like maths, stats, coding, business knowledge. These things are individual degrees on their own. So you can't expect to get everything in 3 months and land a job, even though that would be the ideal case. If you don't understand something like neural networks first time, don't worry about it. It literally took me months, even years, to really wrap my head around how backpropagation works and what it's really doing. Things just take a long time to sink in. You need to have those fundamental building blocks that stack upon each other to eventually understand the whole picture. And like I said, it just takes ages. Data science is a massive field. You can't learn everything, but you can try and learn everything and understand how things piece together. But the field moves so quickly that it would be nearly impossible. So take your time, understand things thoroughly, and don't rush. Learn something, make sure you understand it, then move on. In the long term, that'd be a lot better strategy than simply just trying to go through everything and not really having that retention at the end. If you are serious about becoming a data scientist this year, then I've released my brand new ebook. Over the last 3.5 years, I've been a data scientist in the insurance, e-commerce and supply chain industries. But my journey here wasn't straightforward. I remember at university, I thought about careers in consultancy, finance and even physics research. But I was captivated by the way we can use data science, machine learning to solve business problems. And after that, I poured countless hours into interviews, coding tutorials, machine learning courses, and after 300 interviews, I finally landed my first data science job. This ebook that I've written distills all my knowledge and experience to give you a really good guide of how to break into data science. Whilst I can't guarantee that you'll definitely land the job, it will definitely increase your chances over other candidates. And for the whole month of January, it's 50% off using code EGOR50. I'll link it in the description below for you to check out.